everybody there. We have our special guest is Tullio from Italy and Australia. How are you, Tullio?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. I really appreciate you take your time to record the podcast with me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It took a bit of organizing, but eventually we found the right time and we're here together today.
Yeah, you're a very busy man. I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and since I've become a father, I'm definitely busier than I was before.
I can imagine that. Congratulations for the newborn baby, okay?
Thank you very much.
All the best to you and your family. Okay.
That's great, thank you.
Now, I introduce you like being from Italy and Australia. Please tell us your story. What does it mean being Italian but being in Australia? What happened to you? You were originally from Italy, right?
Yeah, correct. I was born in the city of Bologna in center/northern Italy.
Right.
I lived there all the way till the end of university. And then I wanted to do a PhD project in marine biology overseas. And I was looking for positions in Europe or in Australia or New Zealand. And then one day the perfect PhD project appeared in a city called Adelaide in South Australia.
Okay.
And if you ask me back then, I could not put Adelaide on a map. I knew nothing about that city.
Okay, good. Okay.
But I really liked the research project, and so I applied. And after two Zoom interviews with who then became my PhD supervisor, I got the PhD position, and then
Nice.
I packed my bags, and it was time to go on the other side of the world, in a city where I didn't know a single person.
It was a
and I
great
knew nothing
experience
about-
then, I mean.
Oh, it was fantastic. I would do it again. You know, doing a PhD is very challenging for many
Right.
reasons, but it's also something that shapes you and makes you grow a lot. So I would not be who I am today and where I am today if it wasn't for that PhD experience. And doing it in Australia, it made it so much more interesting. Yeah.
Right, it's great to hear that, you know, like you've done very well indeed. But let's go back a little bit. You left Italy, but did you speak any English before you moved to Australia? How is that?
So the English is something I had to work on quite a bit because the English, the level of English I got at the end of high school was not good enough for doing university in an English-speaking country. So what I did is that I did courses in the summertime. So when I finished
back in Italy.
Back in Italy, when I had spare time during the holidays, I did courses in English. I did one in the UK first, and then I went to the US to do another one. And then I applied for a scholarship to do half of my master degree overseas. And I got that scholarship, and I was able to go for 1 year in California.
Wow, very interesting, yeah?
Yeah,
really?
Over there, I really improved my English because I was there and I was interacting with people in English every single day. And both for the university work and also for my fun activities on weekends and evenings, and social life was all in English. So my English really jumped in quality.
Oh yeah.
For that, and that was the good foundation to then apply for the PhD, and then I was able to get very good scores in the TOEFL exam, which is the typical English exam you need to take
for universities.
To do university in an English-speaking country. Yeah.
Nice. Well, really, like a change there from Italy to England, then America. How did you feel about the accent? I mean, in Italy and moving to UK, you have like British accent, and then to America, and then Adelaide, it's quite different, right? I mean,
it is.
Talk about a little bit that. How did you feel? I mean, you were just thinking. I understood that you were just thinking the language, learning and traveling, but the feeling for the experience, how was it? Oh God, man! I remember when I was in England, and for me, the British English was like, whoa, because we Brazilians, we have a lot of American English back here. But when you go to Europe, it's British English. We feel like more, this is very polished English, if I may say it, okay? But please, tell us your experience.
Yeah, look, initially you don't realize your own accent, but right now I think my English has a combination of mostly American English and Australian English. There are some expressions that I kept from my time in California. Typical one that they use a lot over there is when they tell a story, they always say, "Oh, I was like," and then he was like, and then the whole thing was like this. They love to use "like" as a filler word in a way.
Okay, got it.
And I think I still have some of that in me that comes out quite frequently. But then, of course, now I've been living in Australia for 12 years. And so my English is probably more Australian than American. But it's honestly really hard to hear it yourself. It's easier for somebody else to tell you, you sound more American or you sound more Australian. I think now I probably sound more Australian, and I use lots of Australian words that are quite funny. Like Australians have have their own word for many things, like sunglasses are sunnies, or
funny expressions, you say.
Yeah, funny expressions. They always end with a Y. So sunnies, a tradesman is a tradie. The afternoon is arvo.
Okay, so you arrived in Adelaide and you had to kind of relearn a few expressions because you were in England, America, and then you went to Adelaide. The Australian expressions are different, right? So you kind of had to get used to it.
It was not really necessary to relearn much at work during my PhD because my supervisor was not Australian. He was from the Caribbean. He lived in the Netherlands most of his life, and then he moved to Australia. So, also many of my colleagues were other Europeans. We had a couple of Brazilians in the lab. So it was a very international environment, and so
nice, interesting, really interesting.
Yeah, I think the Australian English is something that faces you when you interact with locals in an informal setting, and sometimes I still struggle to understand them. I noticed that there are differences within Australia. Like South Australia, the English is the accent is not too strong, but if you go to places like Queensland, you will really have a hard time understanding them.
Just to understand that you're in Adelaide at the moment still.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So you went to Adelaide. Did you stay there? Did you move about?
Yeah, I really liked it here. I did my PhD here, which took me just over 3 years, and then I decided to stay. Nice. and I started my business here. We do science communication. We make animated videos about science.
Nice, brilliant.
And I've been doing this for 7 years now.
Wow, amazing, really amazing, really interesting to be here talking to you and learning a lot from you, Tullio. Amazing, yeah? Tullio, culturally speaking, yeah? it's a big change from Italy to England to America and then to Australia.
For sure.
And what would you tell people here? What's the trick to be in between nationalities? Like your boss was from, I understood, Netherlands, Caribbean. He was a Caribbean man. And did he learn English in Netherlands? Maybe he got an accent there. What's the trick here? What's the strategy? What can you tell people listening, the students that are listening to the podcast, please?
My recommendation is don't worry, or like Australians say, no worries, mate.
Okay.
Just go with it. You will figure it out. It's hard to prepare ahead of time for things like difficult accents. You just need to go and you will pick it up. And yes, it might be a bit of a shock initially, and it might make you uncomfortable initially, but being uncomfortable means one thing, that you're growing. So just go with it.
Nice.
The rewards, everything you gain from living overseas in a new culture, in a new country, is so much that is so worth it. It's worth it to be out of your comfort zone and feeling a bit exposed. It's totally worth it because what you gain is so much more. Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. If you allow me to say, your accent is really like, I cannot place you as an Italian. It's really, for me, it's international English, well-spoken English, as you said, and amazing, because I have Italian friends. Yeah. And I can tell the Italian accent. I cannot tell your Italian accent, really, really amazing. It's really cool.
I lost it with time. It was not intentional to lose it. It just happened. Now people do struggle to pinpoint where I'm from.
It's hard to say. It's really I can say not America, not Australia. Yeah, you can tell the bit of the Australian there, but not hard, not really, hard. Really cool. Really, you've done really well with the language and in life. Congratulations, really well. So you have a family in Adelaide. You sound looking very happy, of course.
Yes. So the funny thing is that I came to Australia, and who I married, a German lady.
Oh my God! What a mixture! Can you speak the German? Can you speak German?
I really struggle with German. I'm trying to learn it with Duolingo and similar apps, but it's really difficult for me because I don't know. It doesn't click very easily like English for me.
Okay.
German is a next level challenge for me. But yeah, we're growing our son trilingual. He will learn Italian from me, German from his mom, and English everywhere else. So it's going to be exciting and very interesting to see how it picks up language.
My heart to play some trilingual. Wow, there we go, people. See, Italian, German, and English in the same house.
Yeah, absolutely. But when the language we use to communicate, my wife and I, is English.
Is English, yeah.
So yeah.
So you have to organize that. How to speak Italian and German to Alexander. Alexander is his name, right?
Yes, Alexander. Yes.
Beautiful name. So it's very interesting, this multicultural change. Amazing stories there. And I don't know what to say. I'm really pleased to have you here. And I would like, if you don't mind, extend a little bit and talk about business. How did you were doing a PhD, so I guess start your business was just a natural move after your PhD.
Sorry, is your question about visas, you said?
No, about your business. If you don't mind, talk a little bit about your business. I understand that after your PhD, starting your business was just a natural move, the natural next step. Is it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't just. Yeah, I kind of fell into it. So what happened is that during my PhD, I noticed that science has a big communication problem. There's lots of great science that is done, it's published in these peer-reviewed journals, but the public never hears about it because it's not communicated. And so I didn't want this to happen to my own PhD research. And so I made an animation video about it, simple enough that anybody could understand it. And so that worked really, really well. And lots of researchers told me, oh, I love what you did. I wish I could do the same. I just don't know how to do it, or I don't have the time. And so that inspired me to think, okay, maybe I can help them. I can do this for them. I did it for my own research. I now can do it for other people's research. And so that was the beginning. And so I started very little with no money, just on my own. And then little by little, as clients came through, I grew and grew. And now there's 5 of us working in the company, plus many freelancers around the world that help us making beautiful videos that explain science in a simple way.
Nice, really great, really great. Thank you very much for your views, for your stories, for your time, Tullio. Thank you very much. I really appreciate.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. It was lovely to chat with you, and I hope your listeners got some value from this interview.
I'm definitely sure they are having value, and you get, I think your strategies, your adventures, because I would say moving from one country to the other is an adventure, worthwhile doing it, and learning English.
It is, but these are the things that make life worth living.
Well done, well done. Okay, thank you very much, Tullio. I really, appreciate, and all the best for you there. Okay.
Thank you very much, and best of luck with your podcast.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.